I've been debating on whether or not I should do an audio series on anger management. It's a thought because there's so much involved with that. The reason why people are recommended for these programs is because it involves a lot in regards to behaviors and mindsets. There's a lot of information that needs to be shared. There's a lot that needs to be taught. It's not anything that could just be resolved in one day. So if someone has been formally diagnosed with an anger management problem and that they seek treatment, is not a drive-through situation where you place the order and 2 minutes later you've got the food. It's not going to work out that way. It's going to be a process. So please understand that. And the reason why I say anger management, because there are a couple of audios where I talk about people with hot tempers, and that, that's just who they are. I don't have a problem with you if you have hot temper. Okay, have a hot temper all day long, but one thing you're not going to do is if you disrespect me, I'm going to act accordingly. But there are some people that just can't control their anger because of deep-seated issues. Now, let's just tell the truth about the world. Everybody has a story. Everybody has their own struggles, and that's the truth. And just because you're going through struggles and everything else, the minute you step your foot out into the world, you have to assume that everybody you get in contact with has to cater to you, and if they don't, you get angry and all that. No, that person's going through some shit too, okay? They're going through it. And if you want to interpret that they don't care, maybe they do care. They're just not in a position to do anything for you because they already know in their mind it's beyond their realm of thinking and that you require formal treatment. It's not that they don't care. They just know that they're not qualified to assist you with what you need assistance with. And there are some people in this world that they can't control their anger. Now, I'm going to tell you something about divine timing. Now, I mentioned before that divine timing is gangster. Divine timing is one of the things, and I've never been in an anger management program, so I don't know how it goes. I don't know if they mention divine timing in anger management, but divine timing could be a good tool to use when trying to control your anger. As I stated before, I've never been in a program. I've never been formally diagnosed for anger management. Never had those kind of issues. So, don't get me wrong, I'm human and everything else. And if I'm pushed to the point, yeah, I could go off the chain. But overall, no, I'm just not, irrationally angry all the time. No, I think that takes up too much energy and it just projects a negative energy and it repels people who might be beneficial in your life. But I digress. If you are a person who struggles with anger management, have you noticed, and I want you to think about this the next time, let's say that you're in the middle of a tirade over something. Have you noticed that when you get to a certain point in the tirade, something strange happens that's out of your realm of thinking at that time that kind of distracts you? And it stops you in mid-tirade. I want you to think about this. I'm going to give you an example. Okay, and this is just a hypothetical. Let's say there's a guy who wants to get on a football team. Let's say he wants to get into a professional football team and he's played and everything. He's got to compete against 40 other guys for this one spot. And these are just random numbers. He gets up there, he goes up the ranks and everything, and then he realizes he doesn't make the team. But he has anger management issues. So instead of just saying to himself, okay, I'll try again next year, which he's young enough to do it. He's only maybe in his early 20s. He's got a little bit of time. Try again next year. It hurts at first. There's nothing wrong with feeling hurt, especially if you put in a lot of energy and effort and you didn't get chosen at that particular time. Divine timing says at that particular time that you weren't ready for it. It wasn't time for you, and that was it. So what you're supposed to do is go ahead, sharpen up your skills a little bit if you still want to do it, and you come back again next year and you keep coming back till you get in there. Or if it's not your place to be in there in the first place, then you need to go ahead and just think about doing something else with your life. But for whatever reason, you didn't get in there and you just, all of a sudden, you're taking out your anger on your family members, your children, and everything else, and you're just angry. And it's okay for a little while. But if it's 6 months later and you just as angry as you was since the day you found out you couldn't do it, and you're still popping off on people at the same level of intensity as day one, and then 6 months later, you need to go see somebody. So let's just say this guy, and I'm going to call him JoJo, because you know JoJo's my favorite little fictitious name. Let's say JoJo found out, okay, JoJo didn't make the team in May. Here it is, November, Thanksgiving dinner. JoJo, nobody wanted to invite him to Thanksgiving dinner, but they invited him. JoJo started having a fit because he spilled a drink. Now, he was clumsy enough to spill the drink all of a sudden, and then he starts snapping back at people. So he goes to his son minding his own business, and he starts hollering and screaming at the son. Son starts crying. All of a sudden, in the middle of the tirade, you hear something outside the window like a crash. Don't know what it is. Everybody goes and see JoJo's car was hit. Am I saying that people in mid-tirade deserve to get their cars hit? No. What I'm saying is that the divine is not going to allow you to hurt an innocent person for no reason. It wasn't that little boy's fault that Daddy didn't make the pros. And Daddy had no business talking to that little boy and hurting his feelings when that little boy didn't do anything to merit that type of behavior. So the divine is not going to sit there and just allow his daddy, who is still pissed off over something that happened 6 months ago and hadn't done anything about it, to take it out on an innocent child or any innocent person. They're not going to allow it. So they're going to allow something else to happen to take everybody's attention, including the person who was being angry, off of it. So now he gets to channel his anger away from his son to the person who hit his car. You see how this works? I'm going to give you another example, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Another example. This could be a woman who, let's say a woman has been working a job for a long period of time, 5, 10 years or whatever, and she's in the same position, and the job won't promote her. But part of the reason why the job won't promote her is because she has a very hot temper, and the people, and the person at the job who is over her probably is giving her opportunities to train people, but because she doesn't have any patience and she's angry, they can't keep people. The boss knows this. The boss won't fire her because she's a good worker, but the boss is not going to give her any promotions either because she doesn't have any patience. She has anger management issues that are not addressed. She is not a good team player, but she's a good worker. So the boss is going to let her stay where she is. She gets her raises every year like she's supposed to, but she's not a team player. So she goes home and she takes it out on the husband, goes on and on and on and on, and complains to him about how he's not making enough money and this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, she gets a call from her boss, and her boss tells you they're closing down the branch. She just lost her job. So all that unnecessary anger that she channeled out on her husband about the fact that there's not enough money in the house because she doesn't know how to act in order to level up on her job, then all of a sudden the same job that she has been projecting her anger on other people about is gone. Divine timing is gangster, people. Be careful how you channel your anger. My thing is this: if it's something that's really bothering you that had been beyond your control and you don't know how to react to it, the best thing for you to do is to go ahead and meditate on it first before you start taking it out on people. Because you're making that person distance themselves from you even further. So you're going to ruin a relationship over one situation when all you have to do is sit down and breathe. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace to you.